Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Reina, and today I'm going to share my experience in taking the Texas real estate exam. My motivation behind making this video is that as I started to study for my real estate exam, I wanted to get local feedback on how people felt about the test and how they felt they did, but I didn't find very many resources on YouTube or anything of that nature, so I decided to share my experience in hopes that some of you guys would benefit from it. So as you guys all know, if you have finished the real estate process, once you're eligible to take the test, you are required to register through Pearson, and there are many local sites that you can choose from to take the test. Personally, I chose to go to the local community college, which is pretty much 20 minutes up the road. That way I didn't have to struggle. If you are unfamiliar with what the test is composed of, it's made up of two parts. So we have the national exam, which is the part that you take first, and then they're taken consecutively. So as soon as you are done, you put next, and the next test will generate, and that is a state test. The national test is composed of 90 questions, and the state test is composed of 40 questions. So now I wanted to get into what I used to study, because as I was going in, once I finally became registered, I started getting a ton of emails and a ton of advertisement everywhere I went. Join this prep course, and I was really freaking out because a lot of people were saying that, you know, it took them a couple of tries to pass and it's very difficult. And my background is in education. I am a teacher, I'm a public educator, and I also have been in massage therapy for about 11 years. So I'm taking a lot of standardized tests of this nature to get my certifications, but I was, you don't know what you don't know. So I was really freaking out, wondering am I studying enough? People are saying it's really hard, and I generally do really good on tests, but I was unsure because this is a new field for me altogether, and I had no clue what to study. So I actually asked a friend who has a real estate license, and she actually was so kind to let me borrow this book. So it was the Real Estate Exam Prep by Champion School of Real Estate, and it was no cost to me because she let me borrow it. But then I've seen these on OfferUp or other places where people who no longer have the need for them are selling them for about $10 to $15. And I feel that this book did a really good job of summarizing everything that you kind of needed to know, because in the course you do end up learning so much information, and it's just like information overload. You take 6 different modules, 180 hours, so you really don't know where to focus on when it comes to taking the test. And this test did a really good job of just a couple of pages per chapter, and it has a bunch of tests on here. But actually I didn't take advantage of the test, since I did borrow this from a friend. She had already written all the answers and everything, so I don't find that works for me, because then I'm secretly just, oh, it must be A because that's what she pegged. So I just ignore those. But I did use the beginning part, which was the reading portion, to study. And so I do recommend that because they help to kind of summarize the chapters like that. I didn't go to this school, the Champion School of Real Estate, but I will make another video in regards to the school that I went to and why I chose to use this book. Mostly it's just because it was on paper. The school I went to is online, and they did give me a study booklet, but it was on a PDF format, and it's just, to me, it's more draining. Right now I'm doing a lot of work online and on a computer screen, so when I get the opportunity to do so, I stick to a book. Plus, I just am the kind of person that likes to jot down notes, so paper works a little bit better for me. So then another thing that was an amazing resource was Quizlet. If you're not familiar with Quizlet, I use it a lot, again, because of my background in education, to do reviews with my students. Well, I use that for myself, and it's becoming really popular amongst college students, so I know that a lot of people have probably heard of it in the past. So essentially, Quizlet is a website that people upload study guides to. You can pretty much find anything nowadays. Sometimes they're just fun activities, and sometimes they're information. People upload study guides there, and there was a ton of Texas and national ones, obviously way more for national. So some of the keywords that once you get into Quizlet, and I'll link it down here, were real estate, Texas real estate definitions, Texas state portion real estate exam, Texas real estate exam questions, those keywords, and it will generate different ones, and you just kind of practice them. So one of the settings that was like my absolute favorite on there is playing match. So I would click on a good card deck, because it kind of gives you like slides, and on the corner it has the option for match, and I would just all day be matching, which saves me the time of like having to do all this myself, where I have to write everything. It's already done for you. It generates a new challenge every time, and it makes it a little bit competitive, because other people who have practiced in the same set can now look and see like, oh, I beat 90 people, and then it'll tell you on the little match game, it will tell you, you beat 90 people, see if you can beat this person, which was number 89. So then you're like, oh, what's one more? And then it will also measure your time. So it took you 300 seconds to complete this set. Now, what can you try it again and beat your time? And so obviously it generates different vocab words all the time. So that really helped me out. And honestly, after taking the test, I can definitely say that knowing your vocab will make the biggest difference. For me, that was really, really where I kind of focused on, because as I kept hearing over and over that learning real estate is like learning a new language, and if you know the basic strong foundational words, then when you get a question, you're going to be able to know, okay, maybe you don't know exactly everything that's going on, but you know that word, and you're like, okay, this can't be the answer because this word means this and this word means this. So then it will help you do process of elimination and pick the best answer. But again, that only comes by knowing your vocab. And sometimes you might even see one that you're like, I've never even heard this word. So if you've never heard it, it's most likely not to be, you know, the right answer. And that's something that really, really helped me. Plus, Quizlet is completely free. If you use the free version, then you just have to see an ad every now and then, but it's completely free, and people have already done the light work for you. So use it, and I swear by it, because anytime I had a moment, I would use that. I also purchased the Champions School of Real Estate app, but honestly, it was $1.99, and honestly, Quizlet does what that app does, so I would not recommend it, because I found myself doing Quizlet more. It was more engaging. So the app essentially just has flashcards, and you just click to see the other side, click and see the other side. But I found that the game worked a little bit better for me, and it just kind of entertained me a little bit more in regards to setting. Another thing that I did do was on my commute to work every day for the last 3 days, because I found it 3 days before. I was like, oh, this is so useful and amazing. I listened to YouTube videos of mostly vocab. So there's a YouTube video, which I will post down here as well, from Prep Agent, where he kind of goes over the vocab, and I just listened to that on my way home. And to make it faster, at least for me, I always, instead of listening normal, I usually listen at a faster speed, so then I can just get it covered a couple more times. Plus, I'm just not very patient, and some of the YouTube videos are a little bit slower, and especially the ones that they do in Prep Agent. He does do, like, sometimes, I guess, he uploads his tutoring videos that he has with one-on-one maybe clients, and sometimes there's little extras and more talking and stuff, and I just want to get the content. So I'm like, okay, let's speed it on up, and that's always awesome. So those are my main things, and again, just the usual, make sure that you don't have test exhaustion, so you get there early, wake up on time, get some breakfast in, and just, you know, try your best, read carefully. That's pretty much what I did, and don't be intimidated. But also, I think that with a lot of people who are saying, oh, you know, I failed so many times and I had to do this and I had to do this, I think that the biggest problem that people have in regards to taking the test is knowing what to study, not focusing in, like I said, I focused primarily on vocab. I did the quick summary from the book here for every chapter, but I mostly focus on my vocab, because if you're trying to learn every single little thing, it's going to be impossible. And the people who create this test are focusing on major things like this. You'll see the same concepts over and over, but you have to know what they are, because there's, I guess, some things that are more important to them than others. So knowing the vocab is really what's going to be more beneficial, because then you can do process of elimination and kind of choose the best answer, even if you're not quite sure. So that was my experience taking the test. I was so happy at the end. Once you finish taking your test, you get the results instantly, which is amazing. I love that. This is the same way it was for when I took massage therapy, but when I did my teaching, I had to wait 30 days to know if I was a teacher or not. So that kind of, that was the relief when I got out of the test. And they give you the papers, which can also be scary because I saw the first one on the top, it said pass, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then I was happy that I passed the other one. So hopefully that's able to help you. For me, vocab. I only wasted $1.99 to study, which was the app, which I would not recommend for me personally, mostly because I found afterwards so many free sets on Quizlet, and Quizlet is available for anyone. Like I said, I'll link it down there, and there are so many sets, and it just seemed more entertaining than the app. But maybe the app will work for you, so that's another option because it's pretty affordable. And then also a quick summary of the chapters. And like I said, well, obviously not everyone will have the ability to borrow that from a friend, but if you are looking your local OfferUp or something like that, you can likely find it, or Marketplace on Facebook. And if not, then your school will also provide you one as well, more than likely, which my school did. But the only reason I preferred to do this one again was that it was on paper, and I look at screens all day, so I'm pretty happy when I get to do something different. So that was my experience, and I hope that helps you guys. I will be uploading more in regards to my real estate journey. Like, I definitely want to share with you guys about my school because it was so affordable. I only paid basically $295, and they paid for my test to they essentially refund you with a check. So I want to share that with you guys so that you guys can get it all done within less than $300 as far as this testing, the course, and all that. So I will share that with you guys shortly, and you guys have an amazing day. Hopefully you found this video useful, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.